Good morning, number 8. Good morning, caller number 8. We're looking for caller number 8 this morning, Hags. You're number 1. I'm looking for caller number 8 this morning. Caller number 8. Sandy, you're 2. Carl, you're 3. Alan, you're 4. Trevor, you're slot 5. Herbie, you're 6. Jimmy Max, you're 7. Who's next? Caller number 8. Sharon Sparks. Sherry the Sparky Sparkerton. Sharon Sparks, number 8, has just moved to the board. Sharon Sparks, you're now eligible for tomorrow's spins. Boop. Good morning to Sharon and to all of us who are caring. It's so wonderful, wonderful, good day. Good morning. You know, you got to get here within the top 15 or so. And we're going to pick a number. And boop, if you're that caller, you're on the board. Good morning. Good morning. Good. I've been up all morning. Jeez, my eyes are like falling out. There's a chance today that we might have to cut short just a little bit, about 15 minutes. I'll know if I receive a text. There's something super duper important coming here, and it all depends on what time it's supposed to arrive. And if it's going to arrive before 10, I will let you know. But we'll see. If anything, it'll be about 15 minutes early. Super duper important. Good morning, everybody. We have to do, are we ready for the professor? Who's ready for Professor's Proverbs? Professor's Proverbs time? Are you guys down for a Professor Proverb? You know, the professor has been traveling the world over, and he's looking at every country in the world, 197 of them, and he's come up with interesting proverbs from each of those countries. A little know-it-all. He wants to share this one with you guys. And then the first person to guess which country this proverb came from or is attributed to, the first person to guess correctly will move to this. We'll put their name on the board, and they'll get a chance on the spin to win round. Right, Hags? Professor's Worldly Proverbs. Okay, here we go. You can't hold 2 watermelons in one hand. Go. You cannot hold 2 watermelons in one hand. Kentucky, you're stupid. United States, Mexico. Where are you holding watermelons in one hand? Nowhere, because you can't. China, USA, Canada. Kentucky, Guam, you guys are stupid. Switzerland. MVP says, yeah, you can. Well, that's Texas. Albania, Nepal, Poland, Tibet, Peru, Poland. Nope, none of you guys have it yet. Russia, Africa, Ego, Tibet, no. France, no. How many watermelons do you think they have in Tibet? Seriously. How many watermelons? Philippines, Albania, Ohio, Thailand, Spain, Australia, Chad, Australia, England, China, Ireland. By now somebody has, I know you got, come on. Russia, Portugal, India. MVP, sorry to hear about that, Ego. Alan got it. Afghanistan, you goofballs. It's an Afghan proverb. Alan knows all about Afghan and watermelons and how many you could hold in one hand. Okay, Alan, we're moving you to the board, pal. Here we go. Alan, who has watermelons in Afghanistan? That's all I want to know. Alan knows all about it. Okay? Alan's on the board. We have one more spot ready for today. Who's going to get it? Give me 5 people. 42 people here and 13 likes. No, it's not okay. I don't want to play. I'm going to take my ball and go home. I'm sorry. We can't play. No, I'm going to lock the court. You guys can go play somewhere else. Go find a different ball court. Now we're doing a little better, but geez, why would I even have to ask? What? What's going on out there? Thumbitis? Man, I'm still nowhere close. 44, we're 16 people sitting around going, why don't you give me the old muff right in my face? So, Ego, you got the ER nurse there? Is she pretty? Tell her all nurses are pretty. Inside. It's a hard job. Tell her hello. People, we're still 13. I should never have to ask Jolie. It's embarrassing, actually. Makes me feel, well, I'm not going to take it personal. But people, their thumbs don't work in the morning? Is that how it works, Adrian? Imagine being a bat boy. Do you guys want to know a true bat boy story? Rando facto. I don't understand that, Niffer. Why don't you turn it on, boom, you hit the like button, you're done. You don't have to hear Pop Spiely. You don't have to hear me say any of that stuff. How about a bat boy? A real life bat boy. I'm not talking about somebody that works at the ball game and retrieves the bats when the batsman drops it and runs to first base. Not that guy. Who here was ever a bat boy for a baseball team? I wasn't. I always was jealous of those kids that got the chance to be the ball boy or the bat boy. Do you remember those guys? Even in tennis, I would have been a little ball kid. I wouldn't have minded. Bat boy, not bad boy, bat boy. Is that the only kind of bat, or are there other kind of bats? Yeah. How about the kind that use echolocation? Bellini's like I was the doobie boy. I was handing out doobs. I don't think any of us were bat boys or ball girls. Adrian, my team went 0-12. So we were pretty bad. As an infant, Daniel Kish lost both eyes because of cancer. But he now navigates because he has mastered human echolocation. This means he is able to see using sound echoes that bounce off objects, just like bats do. Bat boy. Let me ask a quick question. Anybody feeling heroic? How many heroes are there in the group? I feel like I would be a hero if the situation arose. If I saw a house on fire or a car burning up, I think I'd jump in and try to save people. I would. I'm not sure I'd be the uncle that would chase the shark down after the kid came. Like that uncle last week was the hero of heroes. But how many of you think you would really be heroic when it came time to be a hero? Alan said, I'd save any of you. I feel like I'd be heroic. Kimberly would be. I know Kimberly would. How many of you would shrink a dink and just go, yeah, let get someone else grab that guy? Is there any shrinky dinks in the house? You wouldn't admit it. If you're a shrinky dink, you don't tell people, hey, don't count on me to save you. Can you imagine being paid back in an extraordinary way? Not a medal. Who cares about medals for heroism? Can you imagine being paid back by, I know Kimberly Shrinky Dinks never admit it. Mr. Phillips says I'm not touching them because I'd get sued. Oh, Jesus, that true. Can you imagine, like, you're a hero, but it isn't about the button, the medal or the ribbon or the certificate or the little city key. The universe is going to pay you back for being a hero. At least it did this one. You guys want to hear about that story? Check this one out. Robert Lausier almost drowned in 1965. But he was saved by a woman named Alice Blaze. Alice saved him from drowning. See, you girls are hot. We think it's always men. Alice saved Roger from drowning. What did she get for it? Well, 9 years afterwards, Lausier was on a raft on the same beach when he pulled a drowning man out of the water, only to find out he had saved Alice's husband. You saved me, and I'll save your husband in 9 years. Pretty good deal. What Roger didn't know is Alice had actually put him out there. No, I'm making that up. What if Roger didn't know that Alice had sent him adrift? I didn't want him back. What are you bringing him back? I should never have saved you. How many people are drowning on that beach? CCS? How many? That's a drowning ass beach. I'm not going near it. There's been no good news on the Titanic sub, is there? Now it's starting to come out that this owner and the corporation, they really were pushing the envelope on that little sub. Now people are coming along and saying, oh, I had safety concerns. I told them all about it. And we have recordings of them telling people, yeah, I know I'm kind of breaking the law. I know I'm pushing the envelope, but I'm doing it anyways. There was a guy comes interview this morning. I had a chance to get on that sub, but I didn't want to go. Too many safety problems. They don't even know if the thing isn't just a crushed can down there now at this point. So anyways, we'll keep track of that for the next couple of days and just see what happens. I certainly am sending good vibes anyways. Okay, maybe the controller didn't connect to the PlayStation, right, Jesus? Yeah. And then Sharon, even now if they find them, what it would take to get them up. Why are we so fascinated with the Titanic? What makes that Titanic so damn fascinating? Why did Lego make a $1,000 model out of it and Brock spent 48 hours putting it together? It's a beautiful model. He entered the wrong cheat code, Goon says. What's so fascinating? I'm not that fascinated by it. I'm not. I read a book a long time ago. Okay, I know everything I need to know about the Titanic. Why every month do I have to hear something more about that damn Titanic? Well, see, Alan, here's part of the story on that. See, the media says it was unsinkable. Here's the truth. Look it up. The media, I mean, they're back when that that ship was being sent out, the media didn't say that. They said that after it sunk. That wasn't one of the, I mean, they were trying to make it unsinkable by the way they used the different sections, the way they built the hull. But the media wasn't touting it as the unsinkable. No. We came up with that one later. Said that was supposed to be unsinkable. I don't understand why we have such a, right, Carlotta? I'm with Carlotta. I'm like over the Titanic. And now it's killing people. More people are dying because of the Titanic. It already took its share, didn't it? Why in the world, Jesus, you were there? Why in the world are we letting it take more people now? Here's a rando facto about the head baker on the Titanic. Give me 5 people that want to hear it. No, I'm not. That's not okay. Give me 5 more people to push their like button, and then I'll tell you about the head baker on the Titanic. MVP, you left a fingerprint on Brock's Titanic? That's pretty cool. 2 more. Give me 3 more, 4 more likes. You guys got to hear this story. It's a great rando facto. 2, 3, 4. Come on. What's wrong with you guys? Get out of bed. Go push that button. Okay, 1 more. 2 more. I'm looking for 2 more. I've been doing this all morning, begging for likes. Doesn't feel correct. Okay, we got him now. Thank you. Why does Pop ask for likes? Because his ego needs to be massaged every single day. Because he needs to know you love him. That's not why. The reason we want more likes is because YouTube's algorithm shows this video to more people, the more likes there are. And the more people that see this video, I think the more chance that we spread health and goodness. Baker on board the Titanic. Charles Yoffin, the head baker aboard the RMS Titanic, managed to stay cool when the ship struck an iceberg on April 14th, 1912. He asked his bakers to distribute bread to passengers on lifeboats as they awaited rescue. Can you imagine that? Hey, get some bread to lifeboat number 7, bread to lifeboat number 12, get bread to lifeboat 67. Pretty cool. I already like the guy. He offered a seat to another person. He gave up his seat on the lifeboat. He had a spot. No, you can have it, ma'am. After a drink, he started throwing chairs into the water so that those trying to stay afloat would have something to grasp onto. Throwing deck chairs over here. Grab this. Joe, grab the chair. Johnny, I'm throwing one to you. This guy's a busy dude. He did go down with the ship. And he survived. Freezing cold water, long enough to be rescued. He was one of the guys hanging onto the rail, let go just in time. I'm officially calling him heroic. He's officially heroic. How long can you stay awake without any stimulants whatsoever? What's the Guinness Book of World Record for staying awake for the longest without... Do you remember back in the day we used to call them whites? We did. Or crosses, because the pill would have a little cross on it. We'd call them bennies. We had bennies, which were the Benadryls. Those were the downers. Do you remember whites? Those were uppers. You used to like get a little handful of whites. Am I aging myself here? Cross tops. Hippie, you totally remember. See, you and me, we went to the same drug dealer. Okay? Little cross tops. They were tiny little things. They weren't very big, but boop. You could drive for days having taken a few. Carlotta, that's funny. She could have saved like 8 people on the trip. Oh no, that's it. Herbie remembers too. Jolie remembers. Weren't they white crosses? Did you call them whiteys or something? What did we call them? What did we call those? That was what I would do if I needed to stay up. The record for a human intentionally staying awake without the use of any stimulants, Jolie knows, without any stimulants is held by a 16-year-old high school student, Randy Gardner. 16-year-old kid, I'm going to see how long I can stay awake. Well, that's a good idea, son. Let's count. I don't know if I'd be the mom and dad to let Randy Gardner do this experiment. Randy Gardner is 60. He's 16 years old, and it's 1965. 1965. This is the same time they're trying to figure out how many people to put inside of a VW Bug. Do you remember that? How many people could we put in a Mini Cooper? I think the record for people in a VW Bug is like 28. Somebody look it up. Jolie, stop it. How many, somebody look it up real quick while we're talking. How many people can fit in a VW Bug? Do you remember that they also did telephone booths? Why were kids cramming into telephone booths? I have an idea. Let's crunch. Let's smash ourselves. Let's pretend we're at a soccer game in Europe. Cleany says it's because they didn't have cable TV. CCS still, what is a telephone booth? Right? They used to be on every corner. I had them memorized because my, pager, I'd have to know exactly where to go. How many people died smashing themselves into telephone booths? I got another one. This one's a little earlier in the game, back when they were still doing raccoon tails off the back of their car. Why in the world were they eating goldfish? What in the hell? Black beauties, that's what they were called in the 70s? I remember them being white. Who would eat a goldfish on purpose? 57 people is the record to fit in the VW? No freaking way. 57? No, that's a typo. 50? What were they, like circus dwarfs? Seriously, circus midgets? No way. Right, Carlotta? From the payphone. From the payphone. Oh, in a VW van, no. No, not a van. It's got to be a Bug, Lady K. She says it's true because it's on Google. How about this? Here we go. The record for intentionally staying awake without the use of any stimulants is held by a 16-year-old high school student, Randy Gardner. He stayed awake for 11 days and 24 minutes in 1965. That's 265 hours straight. 265 hours straight. I wonder if he was allowed to use toothpicks. Why? I agree, Niffer, for the same reason that they were shoving themselves in phone booths. Who remembers Jack LaLanne? Every morning, Jack LaLanne was on our TV set, black and white. We called it a black and green because our screen was so lousy. My TV growing up was a black and green or a white and green. Never really got black. That's when it was a white and green. You know that off-color green? Yep, your grandma loved him, Satwise. My mom loved Jack LaLanne. Sarah says, oh, Jack, look at those arms. Don't you guys remember Jack LaLanne? And he had a onesie, didn't he? Didn't he wear a onesie, hip kitty? I forget his dog. But I think the whole monochrome monitor, I'm not kidding you, bro. For like 8 years, my family would sit there and watch that. And then later on, let's know, my dad did not spend money on appliances. No, that's too much of a luxury, appliances. I think my brother and I saved up money and bought the family our first color TV. We were teenagers and like, we got to have a color TV. So our paper route, my dad didn't even buy the first color TV in our house. It was like, there's nothing wrong with the green and white one. Yes, there is. Well, you could see Bonanza in color now, Dad. But see, this was still when color TVs were consoles. Do you remember a console TV? Think about it, with the phonograph next to it, the one lid would lift up, that had the LP, the phonograph. The other side had a radio. They're the most god-awful things today if you saw one. They're gigantic contraptions. Basically the size of a coffin in your living room. Well, do you remember the first remote controls? Sandy, don't you remember those? A console TV. It wasn't just a TV by itself. It had a bunch of stuff attached. Okay? I can't believe some of the styles. Wait, so do you remember the first remote controls? I remember my friend down the street. They were the rich family. There's always a rich family on your block. He gets all the toys first. You should see our remote control. So I went down to his house to see his remote. That was it, badge. It was a remote control with the long wire. It was like 8 feet long. You could sit just about 8 feet away, but it still had a wire connected. Do you remember that? You still had a cable on your remote control. It's like, how remote is that? Well, my family, because we're smart, we decided we would use a remote control. You just lay. One of the kids had to lay sort of close to the TV, close enough where they could lift their leg up and move the channel with their toe. You would just yell down there, hey, Renee, channel 7, remote control. Swear to God. Who's remote control tonight? You'd have to take turns. Remote control. We still laugh about it to this day because we really did do that for like years. Even when they had a regular remote control, we didn't have one. Kristen did the toe control for her grandparents. See, you kids today, you're committing suicide instead of being remote controls. Okay, City used a long stick. A broom handle. From across the room. Now, when you have 6 kids, you have one's a guaranteed remote control. Okay? In 1984, Jack LaLanne, known also as, what was his nickname? What was Jack LaLanne's nickname? Ooh, you're going to never win a trivia game. Okay? Yeah, the little brown box on top of the TV that would do the remote boop, boop. Oh, my goodness. Jack LaLanne was known as the godfather of fitness. Sharon, that's right. We had 3 channels. ABC, CBS, and KTTV or something like that. They didn't have Fox. Okay. Okay, channel. Yours were 2, 4, and 5. Sandy, ours was 2, 7, and 13. Ours was 2, 7, and 13. All those in between, you just got snow and all weird stuff and stuff. Okay? Kimberly, 4, 7, and 10. We all had 3 channels only? That's funny. The dog's name was Lucky. Thanks, Hip. Jack LaLanne was the godfather of fitness. I don't know why I'm bringing him up, because my mom used to watch him on our monochrome TV. Okay? And so we had to watch him. And I'd sit there and go, that guy's just like way too strong. Jolie, ooh, you were rich. Jolie was rich. She had 7 channels. Look at that. In 1984, Jack LaLanne, also known as the godfather of fitness, towed, or wait for it. Wait for it. 20 rowboats with passengers in them from the Queensway Bridge to the ship Queen Mary. He's swimming across. This is in, he is swimming. You think towing 20 rowboats filled with passengers. You think that that's a pretty big deal, right? That's like, what the? Jack, what are you doing? I'm not done. He was also shackled and handcuffed, fighting winds and currents. Shackled and handcuffed, and I'm swimming and I'm towing 20 passenger boats filled with passengers. How old am I when I'm doing this? I'm 70. I mean, that's it. We're done. Mic drop. Done. Beat that, pal. And he did other amazing things, right? The old pulling the airplanes and trains and wow. Wow. Let me ask one final question. This is going to be our final rando of the day. I know this subject's going to get us all carried away, and it's all right. We're all adults here. I hope. I hope you don't have the kids watching. Kristen, that's strong, isn't it? That is a strong Jack LaLanne dude. Let me ask this question. It's to the men only. Men only. If something happened to your penis, God forbid, something happened to your penis, would you be willing to take a dead dick instead? Sandy, kill me. Would you be willing to take a dead dick instead? Yours isn't working, but we can trade it out for a dead dick. What do you think? Pops, what are you talking about? Patches, nope. Simple, no. Okay, Eggs is thrown up. Paige is extremely interested. She's on what? What are you guys doing to your penises? Okay. Do I have you guys' interest? Are you guys interested in this one? Got shot in the butt, Michael. Who wants to hear the rest of the story? The responses are the best, Holly. Who wants to? BP, I've been looking for an upgrade. You're stupid. Would you? You have a broken dick. Broken penis. We're going to give you one option. We can replace it with a dead one. I'm telling you, 99% of us guys are saying no thanks. But this guy, in May 15, 2016, listen, the first successful penile transplant was performed on May 15th, 2016 in the United States. Kimberly, oh, you're bad. The recipient was 64-year-old Thomas Manning from Massachusetts. They could have picked like a 34-year-old, right? Still had a chance to use it a little bit more. 64, how often are you going to be swinging the ding after this deal now? Huh? Like, I would have at least, if it was me and I was the doctor, I want my first successful, put it on a little bit younger situation. What do you think, Free? Am I being ageist right now? The recipient was 64-year-old Thomas Manning from Massachusetts. The surgery lasted around 15 hours. Wait. Where'd they get it? Where'd they get the replacement piece? It's not like you can just call up and order one. No. They used a penis from a deceased donor. That's a dead dick. That's a freaking dead dick. You guys gotta get a kick out of that one. I'm gonna put a dead dick on you. What do you think? Well, I'm 64. I probably won't use it very often. MVPs, like, do they have a catalog? I don't want a corpse penis attached to me. I'm stuck with what I had. It ain't working. Tuck it in and go. Whatever. But I ain't having it cut off to have a dead flesh. What the heck are they thinking right there? No, that's not, no. Oh. I'm good, but my junk is haunted. All right, I told you guys it was going to be a little bit different category there. Entheogens. We're going to talk about entheogens today. We still are. We're going to talk about them today and tomorrow. Just all the people just joining are like, what the heck are you guys talking about? We're talking about dead dicks, Justin. It's basic. You turn on Tea with Pops anytime, you're going to find different topics. Today, we're talking about dead dicks. Entheogen. What does the word mean? I know, Sandman's like, if you're new, keep coming back. What does the word entheogen mean? I am 2D, to be honest with you. I'm signed up as an organ donor. If I pass away, take any piece from me and help somebody else. That'd be wonderful. CCS's comments are cracking me up. I don't want to go on. I just want to read your guys' comments about dead dicks for the rest of the show. Okay? Entheogen. What does it mean? It's a Greek word. It comes from the Greek. Entheo means, listen to this. This is a beautiful word. The more I'm saying it, now I'm really used to saying it a lot. Entheo means divine from within. The theo part is the divine, and the beginning of the word, the en, is it's inside. It's an internal job. It's an, like entropy or any, when you see en at the beginning of a word, the Greek roots, it's talking about it's usually some kind of an inside job. Entheogen therefore means becoming divine within. I love that. There are plants in our holistic system that Mother Nature has created and evolved that are entheogenic. They literally have chemical compounds and structures in them that will cause other living creatures to have experiences or new connections. I'm talking our dog. We see it with our dog when he accidentally ate a piece of mushroom. He was becoming divine within. And we've been using entheogenic plants in our cultures for centuries and centuries and centuries. And we have proof of it, as we talked about yesterday, even on some African cave paintings. The by far most common entheogen used through the history of mankind, what do you think it is? The most common used through the history of mankind up until today. And it's not mushrooms. What do you think is the most common entheogen plant that has been used? And we have, Jolie's got it correct. Good job, Jolie. Peyote. We can go back in recorded history, 8,000 years, and see peyote being used. And peyote is by far considered an entheogen. Entheogens, what are they? What the heck is it? That's right, Satter, the mescaline that comes from the peyote. What the heck is an entheogen, now that we know what the word means? Entheogens are this. They're a psychoactive substance that induces alterations in perception, mood, cognition, or behavior for the purposes of engendering spiritual development or otherwise in sacred contexts. There's entheogen churches in the United States. Probably the biggest ones in San Francisco. At their service, when they're doing their service, see us Roman Catholic kids, we used these. We used that for a part of our community, our communion, coming together. They use peyote. They use little peyote buttons and stuff like that. They use mescaline instead of altar bread. Are you guys interested in this topic so far a little bit? Give me 5 people that want me to carry on, talk to you a little bit more about this. Yeah, that's the white crosses right there, right? Can I talk to you guys some more about, how about the history of entheogenic drugs? I love teaching. How much I love to teach. Entheogenic drugs have been used by various groups for thousands of years. One of the oldest known entheogens is peyote, which has been used for at least 6,000 years by Native Americans in Mexico. Let's fast forward to the 20th century. And we're going to talk about entheogens now. We've got all that unwritten history and then the written history, and you can see how entheogens were used. But now, boop, let's fast forward. We're in a time machine. We landed in the 20th century, the year 1900, right? 1901. Let's see what happens with entheogens in the 20th century. This I never knew before. This is going to kind of blow your mind. In 1912, Merck Laboratories. First of all, I didn't realize Merck. It's M-E-R-C-K. You know that. You see them on drug laboratories all the time, Merck. It's one of the biggest pharmaceutical laboratories in the world, if not the biggest. Merck. Did you know it? Obviously, it's around before even 1912. That's a long time for a company to be in business. In 1912, Merck Laboratories synthesized the drug 3,4, and then it's a really long one, methylenedioxymethamphetamine. You guys know this as MDMA. It's also known as ecstasy. 1912? MDMA from, I didn't know. I thought that started at the raves or something. You know what I mean? I didn't know. They started MDMA in 1912, synthesized it for the first time. That's pretty, wow. That gave it a long use time before we run into it in the 70s. It was used to enhance psychotherapy beginning in the 60s and the 70s, and then it became a popular street drug in the 80s. I can tell you, I've never had MDMA. I've never had ecstasy, personally. Brock ran through a period, Brock ran through a period of his life where ecstasy was turned out to be a real problem for him. But we got through that. Sounds terrible. In 1928, Heinrich Klüver was the first to systematically study its psychological effects in a small book called Mescal and Mechanisms of Hallucinations. Now, we're still talking about entheogens, right? The first little book written about it's in 1928. In 1928, they were already writing about, at a scientific level, about the psychological effects. And in this case, it's pretty much they were talking about peyote and or MDMA. The book stated that the drug could be used to research the unconscious mind. 1928, they're already you know what? This thing's got some serious potential. Henrik coined the term cobweb figure in the 1920s to describe one of the 4 form-constant geometric visual hallucinations experienced in the early stage of a mescaline trip. Quote, colored threads running together in a revolving center, the whole similar to a cobweb, unquote. The other 3, I guess there's 4 typical visual hallucinations when you're starting out on a mescaline trip that our brain brings you through. So we've got the cobweb figure. The other 3 are the chessboard design, the tunnel, and the spiral. Give me some feedback on that. Is that something that you experience in an MDMA trip? Is that something that you will experience is any of this familiar to MDMAers? People that have taken ecstasy. Klüver wrote that many atypical visions are, upon close inspection, nothing but variations of these form constants. He thinks you might be experiencing other things, but it's all tied back into this. 1953. Aldous Huxley published The Doors of Perception. In it, he elaborates on psychedelic experiences under the influence of mescaline in May 1953. Huxley recalls the insights he experienced, ranging from purely aesthetic, just a good-looking thing, to a sacramental vision. Are we giving Mark donuts? Is that who's getting these who's getting the donuts this morning? Who you guys throwing donuts at? Let me say hi. Kim, I had a really hard time struggling through the door of perception. I really did. I had a difficult time reading through the book. I was able to find things here and there, but I would not call it, for me personally, and I read a lot, I don't think it's an easy read. But I'm fascinated by the fact that this guy in 1953 could get this book published. Think about that. So now we're going to jump forward. This is going to be stuff. This is, I am going to cover this. And it's not controversial. There's a lot of history. And because I started reading this, I was like, I have heard of this all the time. I've heard of it left. I've heard of it right. But I haven't really researched this. I don't know anything about it myself. I just have, a little bit of information, little splips and splaps here and there. But what the hell was this Ultra K, this MK Ultra? I know some of you may have really been, some of you, I think it was a mind control. But what was it? What was MK Ultra? And what was that all about? I don't know. But I know that this is going to be my new study between now and this weekend. I'm going to MK Ultra up. I already ordered 2 books on my Kindle, and I'm just going to read. I'm going to read as much as I possibly can, fill my mind with MK Ultra information so I can have my own educated opinion. MK Ultra. King thinks it's a rapper. Who's heard of Gordon Wasson? Isn't he the guy that went down there and met Mother Sabina? Came back and he wrote an article. And as a result of this article, all of a sudden a bunch of people wanted to go to Mexico and try mushroom trips. That was Gordon Wasson. There's a background to the Gordon Wasson story. Gordon Wasson, back in the early 30s, worked for a company as he was an advertising executive. He wrote advertising copy. Don't forget, back in the day, how they wrote an ad was more important than what they showed, because today it's visual. Today it's like special effects and this and that. Oh, that's a great commercial. Back then they had to really catch your attention. Advertising copy was quite a thing to be an advertised man. There was a company that sold rifles to the United States Army in World War II. The rifles were crap. Young American soldiers were using these rifles out in the field. They were jamming. They weren't seeing. They were a piece of crap. I'm basically handing you a stick and we hope you can shoot a bullet out of it. And there was a gigantic inquiry into this company that had a contract with the U.S. government for selling these terrible rifles. Gordon Wasson's advertisement company comes along, and they started advertising. They started sending different copies in. They did this, they did that. Through fake bullshit story writing, they were able to cover this up and make it go away. No, we didn't sell bad rifles. A bunch of kids didn't die. To me, that's pretty shady. Before I even met the guy, I don't like him. That you would involve yourself in that so you could sell advertising or whatever it is. I don't like you very much. That's just, to me, I'm looking at character. In the 50s, now he marries this lady who's world-class mycologist. She's a professor level. I mean, this lady knows more about mycology already than 5 people left on the planet. And it was actually because of her that they were going to go to Mexico to check out this whole mycology situation. The CIA knows all about Gordon Wasson because he was involved with them as they were trying to cover up stuff. He was one of their cover-up specialists. Get old Gordon in here, write something, he'll make the thing go away. Well, so guess what the CIA did? When they found out Gordon Wasson was going down to Mexico, unbeknownst to him, I'm going to read. R. Gordon Wasson had a funded expedition in 1956 by the CIA's MK Ultra Sub-Project 58, as was revealed by documents obtained by John Marks under the Freedom of Information Act. The documents state that Wasson was an unwitting participant in the project. He didn't know it was being funded by the CIA. His little trip down to Mexico and looking into psychedelics, investigating the effects, he didn't know it, but it was being actually funded by the CIA. Supposedly, he didn't know it. I don't believe that. The funding was provided under the cover name of the Geisler Fund for Medical Research. It credited Wasson at the end of his subsequent life piece about the expedition, because he came back and he wrote this article for Life. On May 13th, 1957, Life magazine published an article titled Seeking the Magic Mushroom. This article introduced psychoactive mushrooms to a wide audience for the first time. 1957, what? Everybody that's reading the Life magazine article is like, I've never heard of this before. Just a few days later, a personal account by his wife, that mycologist, about their research in Mexico was published in the magazine This Week. It was written by R. Gordon Wasson and Vice President for Public Relations, a Vice President for Public Relations at J.P. Morgan and Company, the Spin Masters. The Spin Masters of the world, especially J.P. Morgan. I'm one of the vice presidents of public relations. That means I am the king spin master of the whole deal. Dirty rats. This article was about the use of psilocybin mushrooms in religious rites of the indigenous Mazatec people of Mexico. In 1957, so that's MK Ultra. And its involvement, they were very first, they basically sent Wasson down unbeknowing, get a bunch of information on that psychoactive mushroom stuff and bring it back here. We're going to find out later what MK Ultra did with it. But let's move on to the history of entheogens. On May 13th, okay, we did that. In 1957, Gaston Guzman Huerta, a Mexican mycologist and anthropologist, was invited to the University of Mexico to assist Rolf Singer, who had arrived in 1958 to study the hallucinogenic mushroom genus psilocybe. While they were in Huautla de Jimenez region, in their last days of the expedition, they met R. Gordon Wasson. Guzman ultimately became an authority on the genus psilocybe. Now we're in 1958. In 1958, the French mycologist, so we've got American mycologists, we have Mexican mycologists, We have French mycologists, all in the same 2 to 3 year span. The French mycologist Roger Heim brought psilocybin tablets to Mazatec Cuandera Maria Sabina. That was the first time the Velada, that's like the witch woman, using the active principle of the mushroom rather than the raw mushrooms themselves took place. He brought her back a not synthesized, but a compounded version. He took the psilocybin, did exactly what we're doing. He took it and turned it into a tablet. Here was the fruit that I brought back from Mexico. He turned it into tablets, and then he goes back there to Mother Sabina and says, try this. Try the full pure tablet instead of the fruit by itself, the fresh fruit that you've been eating. 1958, Mother Sabina gets her first tablet from a French mycologist. I never thought of that. I always think she's just eating the raw mushrooms. No, they're bringing her the, try this, Mom. In 1962, Gordon Wasson and, guess who went with him? Albert Hofmann, the father of LSD. 62, Wasson and, Hofmann get together. And they go to Mexico to visit Mother Sabina. They also brought a bottle of psilocybin pills. Sandoz, that's that laboratory, the Swiss laboratory that he was working for when he synthesized LSD, right? Hofmann. Sandoz was marketing these psilocybin pills under the brand name Indocybin for both Indian and Indole, and Cybin for the main molecular constituent psilocybin. Did you know that in 1962 they were selling psilocybin tablets? We think we're like pushing the envelope. Oh, look at us, we're making tablets now. Man, they've been making those since 1962, Pops. We just made them stop. Indocybin. Hofmann gave his synthesized entheogen to the Cuandera, to Mother Sabina. Of course, Wasson recalled, Albert Hofmann is so conservative that he always gives too little a dose, and they don't even get an effect. He's all pissed at Hofmann. Give him more. Hoffman's like, I don't know, man. I did that LSD. It sent me over the edge. Here, have a little specky speck. And Wasson's, come on, man, pour it in. This is funny stuff. He's complaining that Hofmann, he's a little too conservative on his dosing. Sounds like Pops. I'm the conservative Hofmann doser. He complained. Hofmann had a different interpretation. He said the activation of the pills, which must dissolve in the stomach, take place about 30 to 45 minutes after you've eaten it. In contrast, the mushrooms, when chewed, work faster as the drug is absorbed immediately. So he's saying, not so fast, Gordon. It isn't that they're not working. They're just not working as fast as you want them to. If you take and eat a raw one, you're going to get it faster. If you eat them through a capsule or a tablet, calm down, Gordon. In contrast, mushrooms, when chewed, work faster as the drug is absorbed immediately. Now listen to this. To settle her doubts about the pills, Maria's, how about those? To settle her doubts about pills, more were distributed. Okay, here's how we're going to figure it out. Give more to the group. Maria, her daughter, and the shaman, Don Aurelio, ingested up to 30 milligrams each. That says milligrams. It didn't say grams. 30 milligrams. That's a 0.3. 30 milligrams. A moderately high dose by current standards, but not perhaps by more experienced practitioners. At dawn, their Mazatec interpreter reported that Maria Sabina felt that there was very little difference between the pills and the mushrooms. She thanked Hoffman for the bottle of pills, saying she would now be able to serve people even when no mushrooms were available. I'm so grateful, Hoffman, because mushrooms aren't always available, but I got this now. I can serve my people. I can serve my people. We'll talk about Timothy Leary and Richard Alpert and more tomorrow. We'll continue this journey through entheogen history tomorrow. Anybody enjoying this? I sure am. And then maybe next week, if I learn a little bit about MK Ultra, I'll spread a little information about MK Ultra here. Okay. Let's do a final spin for the win. We're going to get somebody's name up on that darn board sooner or later. Oh, I know, CCS, but it's 0.3 of the pure. No question about it. Okay, we're going to do a number between 1 and 50. Name 3 numbers on one line. The first to get the number that I have here will get a choice. So here we go. I don't see the number yet. I have not seen the number yet. Put 3 numbers on one line between 1 and 50. I haven't seen the number yet. I'm all the way down to Herbie on my screen. Okay? So I still haven't seen the number. As soon as I see that number, of course, we'll let you know. I'm looking for that number. You can put up to 3 of them on the line at once. If you've already done 3, fire another 3 in there. Wait a minute, we got it. We got it. Esteban Marin. Esteban Marin. He said 46, and 46 is absolutely the number. Esteban Marin. Kind of sounds appropriate because that almost sounds like it's certainly Latin, but perhaps even a Mexican name. And I don't think Esteban Marin has ever won anything here before. So congratulations, Esteban. Esteban. I think that's Spanish for Stephen. He's from Ecuador. Okay. Esteban, you can either get your name put on the spin to win wheel for tomorrow, or I can send you if you're in the United States. Okay, I hope you're in the United States. Esteban, are you in the United States? Please tell me you are. We can't send anything out of the United States. Tell us you're in the United States. If not, you're going to have to give your... Okay, you are good. Okay. So, Esteban, now you get to choose. You can have this freeze-dried squat, or I can put your name on the board for the spin for a big prize tomorrow. Which would you prefer? Esteban, you decide. Which one would you prefer, Esteban? This or put your name on the wheel? And you must be present to win. That's correct, D. Anderson. Thank you. You have to be here to win tomorrow. What has Esteban decided? He'll take the souvenir from Pops. Okay, Esteban, I'm going to send this to you, but I need your address. At the DetroitMushLab.net, there's a contact at the very bottom of the page of the web that says Contact Us. Go there, contact. It sends me an email. Put your address in that email. Okay? and then I'll send that out to you. Now, MVP, you were the winner yesterday. MDK gave you a prize at the end of the show yesterday. So today, you're going to give the last spot on the board away. Okay? MVP. You're going to give that spot away. Go. I don't care how you do it. You can give it to anyone you want, or you could do a game. You could do whatever you want. But MVP, since you won yesterday, you were giving us a little something, something. You're going to give us something, something away. Okay? So who's going on that? Let's go. We got about 2 to 3 minutes. We got about 2 to 3 minutes. Whose name do you want to go on that? Okay? He's saying pick a number between 1 and 50. He's not giving it away. You got to earn it. 1 and 50. 1 and 50. He didn't say pick 3 numbers either. Pops gives you 3 numbers. He told you pick 1. But pick them fast. If I were you, Hip Kitty, I'd go 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Trevor Slater knows how to do that. Just start firing numbers off. MVP is going to let us know whose name's going to go on that board for tomorrow. Wait till you see what we're going to offer you guys tomorrow. We're going to give you choices tomorrow, too. King Metro. King Metro made the cut. Congratulations, King Metro. King, he'll be here tomorrow. I'm quite sure of it. Okay? Am I correct? Did you say, it went to King, right? King M. Not bad. So these are our people for tomorrow. We have Sharon, the Sparky Sparkerton, Satter Wolf, John B, CCS, Holly, Lady K, Largemouth, Aaron L, MDK, Laura the Divine, King Metro, and Alan. Those are the people that are on the first spin tomorrow. You have to be here to win. Going to be big boxes, and you're going to get some choices about how to populate your own box. It's going to be fun tomorrow, I promise. And you think that just because your name's not on the wheel that you can't win tomorrow? You can. There will be another way and another chance to be a winner. We're all winners. Did you guys? I enjoyed today very, very much, and I didn't get the call saying I had to cut it short, so good news. I enjoyed today. I love to teach and learn together. It's the best thing in the whole world. You guys, take it easy out there. Take it easy, you ecstasy freaks and you MDMAers and you white crossers and you black beautyers and you mescaline peyote heads, and it's all good stuff. Entheogens. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. Ladrand in RX. Liddy. Jesus Christ. Ruff isn't going near that wheel. Ego, love you, kid. Who else? Excuse me, who else is out there? Adrian, have a beautiful and awesome day. Cleanie, you too. You too, Vegas. Stop being naughty. Holly Nipper, have a great day. Jolie, love you, girl. Jesus Christ in Australia. Alan and John Bivens. Johnny B. Be here tomorrow. Hippie Kitty Meow. Hags, there you are, bud. Saturn, the American one, and Badgie. Have a beautiful day, Badge. Sandman, you too. Mark, how are you? Sharon and Mike Ball. Kristen, Jesus Christ. D. Anderson, Benny Ben. Hi, Ben. Mom's Munchies. Goodbye, Mom. Laura and Mark, have a divine day. MVP Holly, Herbie from Warby Kebab, Esteban, and Jesus Christ, and Frank Suarez, and Holly and Cat Che. There you are, Cat. And Lady Cat. And I'm sorry, Lady K and Saturn, Billy D and Grady and Mushmouth. Hi, Mushmouth. Holly M, Johnny, Dumbud, Frankie, Holly, Hippie, Kristen, King, Mo, Dumbuck, Sharon, MDK, Wazzy, Jesus Christ, and King Metroplex. Pour kindness on each other as if you were a dog raining cats. What does that mean? Cat, it's raining cats and dogs. It's raining kindness. Out.